Hello and welcome everyone. Sorry we're running just a minute late, but just wanted to welcome you all. Also want to let you know that if you'd like to make a comment, you can do so in the chat box throughout the program. Just to be sure that you select all panelists and attendees in that chat box when doing so. That way everyone can see your comments. You'll see it down there. It automatically does all panelists, but we want to select all panelists and attendees. And then that way we can all see your comments. So now I would like to introduce Terrence Kerner, President of Atlantic Constructors and our chair of our 2020 Hard Hats with Heart. Terrence?
Okay, thank you, Summer. Welcome everybody to the final Blueprint for Health conversation as part of the American Heart Association Hard Hats with Heart. We're wrapping up our Blueprint for Health conversation series today with a discussion on workplace wellness. Employees who take advantage of wellness are more productive. Evidence also indicates that instituting workplace health programs can reduce the average sick leave, health plan and workers' compensation and disability insurance costs by approximately 25%. Investing in your team's wellness can be done in many ways. We'll start our conversation with Dan Schmidt with H.H. Hunt, who is motivating his team by his example and interactive ways to take part in good health.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes, we hear you, Dan.
Yeah. Great. It's a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon to join this conversation about workplace wellness and the value and the benefits of it. And I appreciate Summer and Michelle for including me. Wellness is a really big deal in our company, and it seems to get bigger each year. And we've really seen the value of it. We recognize that our industry, the construction industry in particular, has higher risk factors of heart disease and stroke. And so anything we can do to help prevent those or to reduce heart disease and stroke is definitely worth our effort. And prevention really is the key. So we have a really robust wellness program here at our company. Kind of a fun story. It started about 8 years ago. Somebody sent me a 100 push-up challenge app. I shared it with a couple of people down the hall. Before you know it, it went viral in our company. We had 755 employees sign up for the 100 push-up challenge. And it was really cool because I mean, everywhere I went for the next 6 weeks, people were talking about push-ups. They were enthusiastic. They were talking to each other. They were having fun, and they were getting healthier. So, we saw something kind of spark our employees and benefit our employees at the same time. So we said, we've got to keep this going. So we created a wellness program, and so we also realized right off the bat that wellness does not equal physical fitness. Wellness is much more than that. We realized that there's spiritual wellness, there's financial wellness, there's emotional and social wellness, intellectual wellness, and so we try to address all of those things, across our company. So probably 2 to 3 times per year, we have a wellness challenge, is what we call it. We have 2,500 employees, and we have very high participation rates. People get really excited about that. With COVID this year, things have looked a little different, like everything has looked different. But we still figured out how to keep it going with videos. So I sent videos to all of our employees. You can go on to the next slide. We had a we had a 30-day physical challenge in April when everybody was pretty much locked down. We thought they needed that. And then as COVID went on over the summer, we had a 4-week emotional wellness challenge. And we had exceedingly high participation rates. People really like it. The key is we try to make it very straightforward, very simple, very easy to participate. We try to give people choices. We don't tell them what to do. We give them a range of things that they can do or want to do. We collect pictures and videos and testimonials and share that across the company. Then we offer like weekly raffles and prizes, and but mostly we just try to make it fun. We try to make it fun, and quite often it's competitive. We seem to have a very competitive crew in our company, and they like to compete. But they seem to really enjoy it, and they embrace it. So you can go on to the next. So we have a formal wellness team in our program. So this wellness team, it's a high honor to be on this team. People compete to get on this team, and so it's we pay their gym memberships, we pay their sign up fees for any races or events that they do. But more than that, it's a badge of honor in our company to be on this wellness team and direct the wellness of our people. So you go on to the next one. So over the years, we've done a lot of different challenges. We've done 6-week walking challenge is super popular. People like to walk. It's easy. I think the last time we had 83 million steps across the company. One of our coolest and probably one of our most productive challenges, we did a smoking cessation challenge. Obviously that wasn't for everybody, but that was targeted at the smokers. We had 71 people in the company completely quit smoking, which to me, that was just a big win. And we follow up with them. We give them resources to maintain that. The Biggest Loser challenge is a giant hit for us, and we track the pounds lost across the company. And people really love it. We compete, different properties compete with each other, and it makes it really fun. But the financial wellness challenges are well received. The work-life balance bingo we do, but the 30-day fitness challenges are the ones that are probably most common. But we also, you can go on the next. So we also try to encourage participation in group activities. So Monument 10K, Richmond Marathon, bike events, walking events, social events. We try to encourage our people to do that, and quite often we pay at least half their entry fee, and we buy and make a lot of T-shirts. People love T-shirts. But those are the things that are kind of the foundation, of our program. You go on the next one. So the thing about this wellness program that we found is it has to be kind of a constant part of your culture. And so we reinforce it constantly. Every Monday and Wednesday we send out things to our employees, but it's a constant low drumbeat that I think really it becomes part of the fabric, of our, of who we are. We're not pushing it on people, but we're just reinforcing it. We're offering them opportunities, and in our case, people have really embraced it. You can go to the next one. And then finally, the other thing we do to reinforce that wellness in our company is we provide them great fully paid health insurance, but only as long as they get their wellness checkup. And so it's one of our ways to encourage them, incentivize them to go to the doctor, to get an annual physical, and because really prevention is the true goal here, and by going to the doctor, we can help them prevent some of these diseases. So wellness has made a real positive impact on our company. It's part of our culture. It's part of who we are. It's made a tremendous impact on our enthusiasm across the company. It's provided a great return for us and our people. So I would encourage everybody to continue to do whatever they can to encourage their people to be healthy, because it's a great investment in your company. So with that, I'll turn it over to Whitney Voorhees with Bon Secours. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dan. Just to piggyback on what you were saying, a healthy lifestyle is definitely one of the best weapons you can have to, sorry, I have to start my video. I don't know you need to see me, but thank you. A healthy lifestyle, is one of your best weapons to help fight against cardiovascular disease, and a healthy diet is part of that. Next slide, please. You can actually go ahead and advance to the next one. Thank you. So while you can't control all of your risk factors for heart disease, we can't control our genetics and we can't control our age, there's actually 3 times as many risk factors that are within our control, such as smoking and exercise, stress management, and diet. And diet can actually impact numerous heart-related risk factors, such as the ones you see there on your screen. Next slide, please. But despite this, despite knowing how much diet can help, according to the American Heart Association, over 98% of us are not eating as recommended. Part of that is due to a lack of understanding of what healthy eating is all about. But part of it is also a struggle in figuring out how to put it into practice. Next slide, please. So a heart healthy diet is one that includes a variety of nutritious foods from all of the food groups. It's one that emphasizes whole grains, fruits, vegetables, legumes or beans, nuts, low-fat dairy products, and lean protein sources like skinless chicken and baked or boiled fish and seafood. In fact, that way of eating is not just good for the heart, it's good for general wellness and is really recommended for all Americans to follow. This plate that you see here on the screen is a great tool for visualizing how to plan a healthy meal. And since we don't have a lot of time today, I definitely encourage you to check out the website there, choosemyplate.gov, to learn more about how to use that tool. A heart healthy diet is also one that limits red meat, limits sugar sweetened foods and drinks, limits sodium, and limits saturated fat. And although individual goals would vary or individual needs would vary, in general, for heart health, we want to keep our sodium to under 2,300 milligrams a day. And if you have high blood pressure, as low as 1,500 milligrams a day. And again, for saturated fat, that would be individualized, but for heart benefits, no more than 5 to 6% of your total calories. So what that equates to for someone who needs 2,000 calories a day is a maximum of 13 grams. And for someone who eats closer to 1,200 calories a day, a maximum of 8 grams a day. So I want to point that out because on your next screen, if you can advance, please. We're going to have you see if you can guess what is in your typical fast food meal. So if you're willing to participate, I'm going to pop up some typical fast food meals and you can put in the chat box either the amount of calories or the amount of saturated fat or the amount of sodium you think is in the meal. So the first one up there is McDonald's quarter pounder with cheese and medium fries, not counting the ketchup. So anyone want to take a guess? Okay, a couple guesses coming in. All right. So let's take a look. 870 calories, 15 grams of saturated fat, and over 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 1,340. So definitely some of you got close there with the calories. All right, next one, please. Okay, what about Hardee's sausage biscuit? So this would be breakfast. A lot of people eat breakfast on the way to work. How many calories, sodium, or saturated fat do you think is in that? All right, you can go ahead and reveal. So 620 calories, 17 grams of saturated fat. That means for just about everyone, that's more than a day's worth of saturated fat by the time you've had breakfast. And almost a whole day's worth of sodium for some folks, at least half the day's worth of sodium for everyone. Next one. Wawa Italian classic with cheddar cheese and mayonnaise. What do you think is in that sandwich? Let's see if you can guess the sodium. Okay, go ahead and reveal. You guys are getting good, but not guessing high enough. 2,480 milligrams of sodium in that sandwich, on top of the 17 grams of saturated fat and the 930 calories. All right, but those, are not necessarily sounding like healthy food. What about ones that sound healthy? Go ahead and click the next one, please. Panera. They have a Mediterranean bowl with chicken and comes with a side of French baguette. So what do you think is in that meal? All right, go ahead and reveal. I love watching your guesses come through. Thank you. Yes, the baguette is the killer in some ways. The baguette definitely adds at least 300 milligrams of sodium instead of, you could choose the apple instead. But for this meal, the saturated fat certainly is better than what we've seen in our other options, but the sodium is still way up there at almost 1,900 milligrams of sodium and 880 calories. Now, some folks who are working hard all day, they might burn a lot of calories. Maybe they can get away with 880. But for a lot of us who sit around in an office, that is, easily half to 2/3 of our calories for the day. All right. In fact, these are not the exceptions. A study out of Harvard found that the average fast food combo meal contained almost 1,200 calories, 14 grams of saturated fat, and over 2,000 milligrams of sodium, and 68 grams of sugar. And a study in the British Medical Journal found that your nicer sit-down restaurants really fared no better. Next slide, please. So what's the problem here? Well, there's several issues. One of them is hidden ingredients. There's just no way for us to always know what all they're adding back there in the kitchen. But they tend to add a lot more fat and salt than you would ever dream of. So it's really hard, as you could tell, it's really hard to really estimate what's in the food. Also, sometimes we misinterpret the food as being healthy based on how they describe it. Like the word salad sounds like it's healthy, but it all depends on the ingredients that goes into it. And then things like organic or natural give it this health halo. But again, it doesn't really speak to the sodium or the saturated fat. And of course, there's the temptation factor. Sometimes it's the temptation of, things that really smell good or sound good, but then also there's the money temptation, that it's just easy to tack on soda and fries because it, just maybe $1 more or something. And then the portion distortion. Restaurants are serving much larger portions that are recommended, and just our general habit is if we're served more, we eat more. Next slide, please. So considering all of these factors, it's strongly advisable to pack your meals and limit how many meals you get prepared outside of the home. Not only is it going to be healthier for you, but it can save you on average nearly $1,500 a year. And assuming you work from the age 18 to the age 65, That's a potential work-life savings of over $73,000. So it's not only good for your waist, it's good for your wallet too. Next slide, please. So what can you pack? Well, keeping health in mind, you want to be sure to include whole grains, lean protein, low-fat dairy, fruits, and vegetables. And you can actually accomplish this with a simple sandwich and possibly a side or two. It doesn't have to be boring. It can be really interesting and enticing and flavorful. In fact, there's some examples on the next slide, please, of some really interesting options. So like fig, goat cheese, and caramelized onion, or this tomato and bacon sandwich. You can, at a restaurant, you're not going to find one that's leaner or lighter in sodium, but at the grocery store you can. So you can modify some of your restaurant favorites to a healthier version if you prepare it at home. All right, next slide, please. Of course, if you pack from home, you're not limited to just a sandwich. You can have a lot more variety when the food is coming from home. And even if you're not packing from home in terms of things that you've prepared, by going to the grocery store, you're able to read labels and see the nutrition up front. A lot of your restaurants do put the calorie counts on their menus, but you're not necessarily seeing the sodium and saturated fat the way you would at a grocery store. So there's actually some of your prepared meals, TV dinners, if you will, or frozen foods that can be much healthier than a restaurant meal would be. For example, the brand Healthy Choice, they cap their sodium at 600 milligrams. And in general, their saturated fat is less than 5 grams. So a lot of times people shy away from those because they see the numbers, 600, 800, and they think, wow, that's so much sodium, but they don't realize how much higher the sodium is in the actual restaurant foods they're getting. But yes, if you can make your food at home, that'd be even better. And leftovers are certainly a fan favorite. It's a great way to save time and money because the food has already been prepared. And just as you're plating it for dinner, you can go ahead and plate a meal in a to-go container that you can take into work the next day. And if you have access to the microwave, that's even better. But I know some people, they might not be working in an office. But a lot of your convenience stores and even some of your grocery stores that have a dining area have microwaves there. So that still allows you some versatility with what you pack. Okay. Next slide, please. So despite the commonly held belief that healthy foods are more expensive or it's really time consuming, those things do not necessarily have to be true. I put up here a link for the American Heart Association, some of their recipes. You can actually narrow down your search to things that are quick and easy or really budget friendly. There are certain nutritious foods that are always budget friendly, like beans and peanut butter and eggs and canned tuna, so you can incorporate those into your meals. Meal planning and preparing things ahead of time is a big time saver and a money saver as well. Next slide, please. So even though it'd be great to pack all the time, there's going to be occasions, whether it's by choice or by circumstance, that you're going to find yourself eating food prepared outside of the home. And unless it is to celebrate a special occasion, for your heart's sake, we recommend don't treat it as a special occasion. Really focus on choosing foods that will fuel you while having the least amount of sodium and saturated fat compared to the other options. So do look up the nutrition information from your chain restaurants. Again, many times it's posted on their website, so you can find out ahead of time what some of your better options will be and make the most informed decision possible based on that particular restaurant. But on the next few slides, I'll give you a few general pointers. So next slide, please. When you go to sandwich shops or order a sandwich, keep in mind they're all going to be high sodium. That's just the nature of those types of deli meats, and it's also in the breads. But you can really help minimize the sodium by being careful with what condiments you choose, what toppings you put on it, and what sides you choose to have with it. Next slide, please. And then while fast food isn't known to be healthy necessarily, it actually has improved over the years in terms of the options it provides. You're no longer stuck with a meal deal that only comes with fries and a soda. You can actually, at some restaurants, choose a side salad or fruit and bottled water and still get the meal deal. And if you are going to go for one of the sandwiches, sticking with the smaller size sandwich and the grilled options, of course, are going to be healthier. Next slide, please. And don't forget that some convenience stores can be a great option if you're really just looking for a quick bite. Many of them have a lot of grab and go options that you can mix and match to create a healthy, balanced meal. So for example, you can get some hard-boiled eggs or veggies with dip, maybe a fruit and cheese tray, some packaged nuts, a container of yogurt. So there's a lot of different options there. Next slide, please. So I know it's, we're kind of quickly running through this information, but if you would like to learn more on all of these topics and get further help, I definitely encourage you to check out the American Heart Association's website. And if you'd like more personalized education and goals on nutrition, you can always make an appointment with me or seek out a registered dietitian who's in your network. So thank you for your time, and I'm going to now turn it back over to Terrence to close us out.
All right. Thank you for sharing with us today. We hope this information was as it provides ideas to take back to your teams. This year with our Hard Hats with Heart campaign, we're going to be putting some action behind learning. We're looking to fund 450 blood pressure cuffs for area patients to safely manage and monitor blood pressure in their homes with AHA messaging and resources for each one. This will include patient resources to support healthy lifestyle changes, blood pressure management, along with materials to promote physical activity. I hope you would consider joining the Hard Hats with Heart campaign with a sponsorship to help us meet this goal. As you can see, we're about 20% of the goal. We're launching our Tools for Schools in a unique way for this year, providing PE equipment to children at 2 local elementary schools while learning virtually. The Amazon link will be placed in the chat box. You just pick the items you want to order, and Amazon ships them right to you. I want to thank all of our sponsors. Thank you to those companies that have already joined our campaign. There's still time to come join us and reach our goal. Summer will be following up with each of you after the call with wellness materials along with information on how to join the campaign. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great night.
This is that ice cold Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Styling, wildin', living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on with Saint Laurent. Gotta kiss myself, I'm so pretty. I'm too hot. Call the police and